Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Listen to the Music Play YouTube channel. Today, I want to quickly go over the Every Time Played Excel workbook and explain what it is and give you an example how to use it. I think that will help you figure out different ways that you might want to use the spreadsheet to find some of the things that you may be looking for, questions you may have. So, real quick, the intention here is to show you this is every song that we know of, every time played, listed by song and sorted by the song name, and then sorted by the show, and then by the set number, and then the song position in that set. I'm going to quickly go over some of these columns, but this was intended, it was originally made as a companion to the Listen to the Music Play, a comprehensive and interactive guidebook to the performances of the Grateful Dead. And there's an Every Time Played section in that book, but having the spreadsheet, being able to sort it and filter it, is a nicer, quicker, easier way to find some of the things that you're looking for. So, real quick, I'll put links in the description of the video on where to find the spreadsheet, but you can get it by going to my website. I'll show you real quick. GratefulDeadBook.com. If you either click on hover over ebook and then click on Every Time Played, it will take you to the description of the Excel spreadsheet here. And if you click this button, you can it will take you to the Gumroad page where you can actually just download this file directly from here. Just need to put 0 in here to get this for free. Of course, if you want to give me a few dollars for this, it is much appreciated, but totally voluntary. All right, so getting back to the spreadsheet itself, I do want to point out if you click in this box with the link to my website, it will take you there. But then when you go back to the spreadsheet, sometimes what happens is just clicking on the spreadsheet will launch the website again and again. So what you have to do is press Command and then click to make this box gray, or this other one too with the with this link right here. And now you can click in here and it won't launch the website. I haven't quite figured out why it's doing that. But it is kind of annoying, and I wanted to include a little instruction on how to stop it from doing that. So it's press and hold Control and click in there, or on a Mac it's Command, and then it will stop doing that. As long as this is gray, you won't have any problems. So, which brings me to the next point about the spreadsheet. It's protected, and I did this for a reason. I didn't want the information getting altered, just to keep it as it is. It's meant to be kind of a snapshot, so I didn't want anybody intentionally messing it up. Not a huge deal. You could always download another one if you did, but just to keep everything kind of the way it is, I protected it. Now, I have added a new feature here. We can now sort these columns. I didn't have that before because I was missing this sort column on the very end here. If you get lost in here and you've sorted these columns and can't figure out how to get it back, all you have to do is come to the sort column on the end and sort smallest to largest, and it will put it back into this default sort order. Okay, so where to start? First of all, there's a tab, column explanations, that will explain what these columns are and the codes that I've used in here. I have a lot of information that I'm trying to present in this view, and not a lot of screen space or real estate really in which to present it without it getting kind of out of hand and extremely large. So I decided to use different codes for things just to represent what some of these things are. So I'll go over these, but just wanted to point that out, that this explanation here will give you a pretty good idea of what these codes are, what they mean. The certainty ratings are a little tricky. In the ebook, I go through and kind of thoroughly explain what these song, set, and show certainty ratings are, what they mean, how I develop them. But you can get a pretty good idea of what they mean by looking at this description right here. So first thing to know, the place to start for searching is in the song name column all the way to the left. This is just the list of all of the songs that the Grateful Dead played in alphabetical order. So you can go through here and scroll through here, or you can just start typing, which is what I like to do. Say, for example, Scarlet Begonias. You just type Scarlet and it will come right up, and you can just press OK and it will filter, and now you will only see that song. And then once we have that song, we can filter and do other things. I'll go through an example a little later. I just wanted to quickly point out, so to get out of any of the filters that you've done in here, you simply have to go in here and select this clear filter, and it will take you back to the default view. So here we have the song name, which is really the same as the ETP, or every time played song, in the middle. That's the song we're focusing in on. And then you can see the show date, the day of the week, the Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, whatever. The show sequence number, or SSN, which is basically just a number from 1 to however many shows are in here in chronological or sequence number, and that's used to calculate the gap. So, as you can see here, for the song A Little Light, the first one was played on 2/7/89, and then they played it again on 2/10/89, the very next show, so it has a gap of 1. If it's the first time played, the gap, of course, will be 0. Hadn't been played before. The next column over is the song that was played before the song that we're looking at here, which is Just a Little Light. And then after, the song played after, of course, Standing on the Moon in this case. And then we have an E/L column here. This is just to indicate if it was an early or a late show. It really only applies to some of those earlier shows that the Dead were playing in the 60s and the 70s, early 70s, where they played an early and a late show. Not too many of those, but nonetheless, it's important to know that. If you're trying to track down the recording, you want to know if it was the early show or the late show. The next column is the S column here, which stands for the set number, 1 through 3, essentially. And then the next column over is the set classification. So E1 in this case stands for electric set 1, E2 is electric set 2. We have various set classifications. There's acoustic sets, they played a lot, so those are indicated by A. But again, all of these are detailed out in this explanation tab right here. Next column over is the position. So this is the position in the set that the song was played. So in this case here, for this first one, this was the 5th song played in the first electric set. The next column over is the T for total songs played in that set. In this case was 8. And then the next column over is the relative position, the RP. Kind of gives you an indication of whether the song was played early in the set or later in the set or right in the middle of the set, the very end of the set, or whatever. So it's a scale essentially from 0 to 1, and where higher the number, then the later in the set, and the smaller the number, then the earlier it was played in the set. And the bars give you an idea, visual indication of that. If it was a larger bar, it was played later in the set, that kind of thing. So the next column over is the A column, which stands for if it was played acoustically or not. There are some instances where they didn't necessarily play an acoustic set, but a song was played acoustically. In any case, those you can find those by selecting A here, and it will find those for you. Maybe you're looking for an acoustic version of a particular song. It will help you find that quickly. The next column over is the E column, which is just stands for Encore. If it was played as an encore, it will have this in that field there. So if you're looking for a particular song played as an encore, you can find that. Or as you're looking through the songs, if you see that E in there, it just means that it was played as an encore. The next column over is notes. So notes there's a lot of interesting things in here that you can find. You can do various keyword searches in here. Different jams will be noted in here, like the Tighten Up jam. Or the Feeling Groovy jam is another one. If you're looking for those real quick, there's other jams in there too that you can find. Now, some of the jams are actually called out as quote unquote song names, like Spanish Jam and some of these other ones. And there's various reasons why they either are or aren't called out or identified as a song, but won't go into that right now. But just to know, if you are looking for some of those a little more like the thematic jams like that, you can find things like that in there. You can also find things about statistics. So if it was, in this case, this note here says 1 of 2 times played to close set E1, or 1 of 10 times played to open set E2, things like that. Interesting, and as you're filtering through and looking for different things, you will see the notes in this column, and it's just meant to give you a little bit more context, a little more information about the song or the show in particular. Okay, the next 3 columns over, song, set, and show, are all certainty ratings. And again, not to go into this in detail right now, but the certainty ratings are meant to give you an idea of how certain we are that this song was actually played, that the set is actually accurate in the right order and it's complete, and then finally if the show was actually played or not. So I look at this as kind of 3 different levels, if you will, of certainty: the song level, the set level, and the whole show itself. A lot of earlier shows we don't really know about, not the certainty of them. We're not really sure if they were played or not, that kind of stuff. Those ratings, they're meant to give you an idea of stuff like that. They're not really set in stone. I've changed a few of them lately with this latest iteration of the book and the spreadsheet. I've had to make a few adjustments to some of these certainty ratings, and they're going to change over time. But as it stands right now, this is kind of where we're at. Okay, the next column over is the type. So what kind of type of show was this? And again, there's explanations over here. So we have different types. We have acid test, benefit concert. C is a regular concert. Think of that as a regular advertised, ticketed, standard show that was, put on, that kind of thing. That most of the types will be C for concert, but there's a few other ones in there. There's some interesting. There's a private party that we know about that the Dead did. Actually, more than one, I believe. Well, let's take a look real quick. If I just filter for PP private party, let's see what comes up. Looks like one instance here. The date isn't really known. We'd have to go look up this date to see if we know the venue or not. But it says, that the Dead scholars have done some research. This Lost Live Dead blog is excellent, by the way. Highly recommend. So you can find a lot of oddball stuff by quickly filtering. Okay, the next one over is guests. So these are guest musicians that jammed with the Dead on stage for any of these songs. So, again, we can quickly search for some of the musicians that we like. Actually, one of my favorites is David Crosby, right here. So we can put up text filter in here and find all the instances of Crosby. So maybe we want to find a particular song where David Crosby jammed with them. Like here's a cool one, hit Dark Star, where David Crosby looks like he does some guitar work or maybe some vocals as well. I kind of have these kind of generically identified here. He was definitely, jammed with them. We'd have to go listen to see, did he sing or did he just play guitar? In parentheses here, you'll see vocals and guitar. Typically this is just, meant to give you an idea of, in general, what was he doing with the Dead? Was he singing? Was he playing guitar? Both, that kind of thing. It's not meant to be 100% accurate, but just give you an idea. All right, so the next one over is lineup. So this is the band members that were, performing on any of these particular songs, right? So, we can see here actually, the whole lineup is listed, and you can see here this second one, this just a little light version here. It's without Bob for some reason, at least according to the notes, and I have, you can indicate that in here with the lineup, it reflects that, right? So if we're looking for, maybe you're looking for a particular song with a particular musician, everybody, like a lot of Brent fans out there, you want to go find a killer version of whatever song, and we like Brent, so we can include Brent, in the lineup on the song, and we can narrow down those versions, things like that. All right, that is a quick overview of the columns. Now, real quick, what I'd like to do is just go through a quick example of filtering and how to use this thing. So say we want to find, I'll go back to Scarlet. Say we want to find all of the instances where the Dead played Scarlet Begonias but didn't go into Fire on the Mountain. Maybe they went into some other song. We're looking for something a little different to listen to. Maybe we want to expand our horizons a little bit and find something unique. So what I can do here is I can start with, under song name Scarlet, I can just start typing Scarlet Begonias, and I don't even have to type it out. It finds it, and I just press OK. So now we are filtered for all of the times that the Dead played Scarlet Begonias. And if you're interested to know, it was 316 times. So there's a counter at the bottom here that will change as you filter this spreadsheet around. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, let's get back up to the top here, is I want to see Scarlet's where they transitioned into another song. So what I really want to do here is I don't want to see the standalones. So if it's got a comma at the end, it means that they just played that song and then there was a pause and then they played another song. If there's a greater than sign, or what we call a gozinta, they segued from one song into another song. That's what I'm interested in here. So I'm actually just gonna I can hit unselect all to quickly remove all the checkboxes and then just check the one that I'm looking for. If it doesn't have a comma, I should say, it's just blank at the end, it means it was actually the final song played in the set. Not a big deal. Just wanted to note why there's one with a comma and one without, and then the one with the goes into sign. But if it doesn't have a comma, it just means it was the last song played in the set. So anyways, we're looking for the ones where there was a segue. So now I'm showing all of the times where they played Scarlet with a transition into another song. And now actually what I want to do is I don't want to see the Fire on the Mountains. I just want to see some of these other ones, like Must Have Been the Roses playing the band. So we can filter out now. I can selectively remove Fire on the Mountain, press OK, and voila. Here we have 30 times where the Dead played Scarlet Begonias and didn't segue into Fire on the Mountain. They've segued into something different, something kind of unique, right? So yeah, really cool stuff here. Quick, easy way to filter out kind of some of the things that you're looking for. You know, like we have here, playing Scarlet playing. That sounds great. From oh yeah, 88674. That's a great show. You know, other things too. Now we can see, you know, some of these notes. So this one here, Scarlet Bucket. One of two times they did that, right? And here's the second time they did it. So now you can quickly find some of those unique shows. The first time they did it was on, you know, 3/22/85, and then they did it again 11/6/87, and it was the only two times they did that. The other thing I'll point out too, you know, here we can say, here's our lineup. So maybe we are looking for, you know, just the versions with Brent. All right, let's filter this one more time and look for the versions with Brent. So here's all the times, 23 times where they did a non-Scarlet Fire with Brent. So there's could be some really cool jams in here. I'll quickly clear that one out and just go back to one other point I'll make here. If there were guest musicians, they would show up here. But as you can see, for the certainty rating, C means confirmed. So, you know, we know that these are all confirmed. This is all good, you know, information. There's nothing uncertain in here. You know, we don't have any UC for uncertain or U for uncertain ratings in here. You know, if we see those, then, you know, take it with a grain of salt, because, you know, maybe we don't have an actual tape of the show to go listen to validate some of this stuff. So some of this you do have to take it into consideration, you know, some of these certainty ratings. Okay. Last thing, I just want to show you, you know, you can get out of all this. You clear these filters, any of these columns that you have filtered, and it will take you right back, you know, to where you started with the default view. Okay, great. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. You know, again, the links will be in the video description to get to this spreadsheet, and hope you all enjoy. Thanks.